So we are going to discuss about writing a research proposal. Since we skip some chapter, but yet to save time to be flexible. Since today we do not have group presentation, so the best way that we can do here, we just move to research proposal first. And this part is not new so far. We can say like since we have already discussed at the very beginning of the session that we have met so far, right? We have already met up and discuss about how to write a research proposal, some part there, but it seemed like a very brief overview of that part. But this part, it will be go a bit further detail that everyone can come up and to be ready for your concept note that we are going to do sooner and later in here. Yeah, we can say like within next week you will get the other guideline for your concept note, right? Okay, at my house now it's just a bit noisy with the construction. Okay, so just go without further delay. We can go somehow. So here are the scope of talk that we are to move. Okay.
Excuse me, teacher, I have sent my topic to the chat now.
Okay, I see. Okay, so maybe we can discuss later. Okay, also please drop it to my personal Telegram. Maybe we can talk through Telegram. Okay, yeah, so we should go to this one for a while. Like, yeah, the first one we want to talk about purpose of a research proposal. It may be why do we need to do research proposal here, and as well as research proposal for in quantitative, qualitative, or make necessary research in here. Okay, maybe you can wait for a while. I will close the door. Constructing site near in front of my house. They are building something. Okay, so we will see whether they are different or the same thing here. And number 3, content of research proposal. Okay, no conclusion here, right? Okay, ignore it. Check content of proposal, right? So you can look at this one like purpose of a research proposal, or we can ask why do we need a research proposal on here. So here they can explain you like this one, like it is an overall plan, structure, strategy designed to obtain answers to the research question. Yeah. So yeah, it's like a business plan as well. That whenever you have a project to do, you need to have a plan or proposal to do it, that you may know or understand about the scope of work or the scope of time that you may spend on it, right? Rather than just do it and without planning, somehow we might be fail because of that part, right? So including with the work plan, structure, and strategy that make sure you can answer to the research question. So after you got research topic, you may come up with a research problem or statement of problem, and then you also need to formulate the research proposal or research question. Yeah, but this part we can say actually you have to try to answer to the research question here. The second one we can say like a document for scientific scrutiny for other to judge the appropriateness of the project. You can say it's just like something that you want to show to other people to yeah, because like if you are the student for master or bachelor degree, you may show it to your supervisor, show it to the research department committee, whether your research proposal is it good enough to collect the data or not in here. If you are the consultant, you also need to submit your proposal to the owner. Yeah, or TAF, we can say like the people who just grant you money to conduct research here to see whether it's possible, is it good enough for data collection, or whether it's just significant for them to donate or sponsor you with some amount of money or not here. All right, so something here. Okay, and the other one, we can say like a reference document as to how the research was or will be carried out. Yeah, what are the flow, what are the plan, what are the component or the other people who should get involved in the project so far in here. Yeah, so something that are more detailed we can see. Next, we can say like about proposals in quantitative or qualitative or method research in here. So we can say in research, as you know, there are 3 different types of research method in here. They're like you can see here, like quantitative. It's just about something nature of numeric, yeah, and qualitative, the nature of research that focus on descriptive or description or narrative and so on, and match method mean match both quantitative and qualitative together in here. All right, so there are 3 types of research. Yeah. So okay, you can see here like about this part, we can say like follow the same structure. So the structure is not far different here. We just have research title, we just have research problem and so on. Okay, up to and so on. You will see it in the next slide that will show about the content. But differ in content, we can say follow the same structure, but differ in content. Yeah, there's some part might be changed as well. Differ in methodology. Yeah, it can be quantitative, qualitative, or method and so on. Differ in proposed method. Yeah, we can say which one that you prefer to use in here. Even sampling method also are different between qualitative and quantitative research. All right, yeah. Next, information about the study. So this part, we can say it will show or guide the researcher themselves, or even the reader or the owner, or we can say like the one who donate or sponsor for research. They may see like what the research is proposing to do. Yeah, how to find the answer to what is proposed. Yeah, the way that we need to explain about the way that we propose to collect the data. Okay, how many steps and how many things that you need to do to get the respondent to answer to the research question here. Okay, why the proposed strategy or investigation were selected. To explain okay, why strategy or investigation, whether you use like quantitative or qualitative, whether you use like interview or even questionnaire survey, you need to explain why. What are the reasons that you need to explain? So these 3 components really important for you to do and explain in your research proposal on here. Yeah, research proposed to do. You find your answer to what they proposed. So how? And one lecture explain about why you decide to use the strategy or even a method to investigate what in your study in here, right? Okay. Here the content of research proposal. Normally you just come up with one. Okay, you can see here. The first one is just about like an introduction, including a brief literature review. So introduction with a brief literature review. Okay. A theoretical framework that underpin the study. Yeah, like it may come up with some theory, okay, that link with what you want to study. For example, if you want to study about academic performance, it can be come up with pre and post survey and so on here, or pre and post experiment, right? Yeah, or pre and post test, you can say. Yeah, that is the theory of that part that can be used to measure, to analyze, you can say, like to measure the study of the topic there about performance. Need to use pre and post test. Or performance, it can be used like what? Okay, it might be about a flow theory and so on. That can show about that part. Okay, that part also need to do something. And conceptual framework, we can constitute the basis of the study. Or other part, they call it like design framework. So what are they? What are the variables that can be used in your study? That what we have studied so far about dependent and independent variable, or the other part that can demonstrate. So yeah, the key term in your research topic, which one that, how can you draw the framework for the research study there. Number 4, we'll talk about aptitude or research question of the study. You know, like I normally talk or say something about this one, we can say like some research have both our aptitude and research question, but some which have only research question, not research aptitude in here. Since both of them it can be reflect to one another somehow. This one is in positive sentence, this one is in question, but there are only one thing there. Okay, research hypothesis to be tested if applicable. We can say like for normally we can say in qualitative research do not include research hypothesis, but okay, in quantitative normally they require to have the research hypothesis as well. Yeah, but not mean all really need the hypothesis most of the time here, like we recently studied last time, right? Okay, study design that is proposed to be adopted. Yeah, so what are the study design that recently presented by maybe Mr. Mesa and Mr. Vajana, I think, or Vajada here? Just like something that you can see there. What are the study design that you propose to be adopted? And setting for the study. So where will you start? Where will you study? Where will where is your site of study in here, you can say. Okay, so number 8, we talk about research instrument. So yeah, like we just recently learned in chapter 8 or 9, okay, that we can say chapter 9, right? That about how to select a research study tool or research instrument in here. So which part that you want to use? Observation, interview, or even the questionnaire survey for your study in here. So need to demonstrate there. Sampling design and sample size. So which how do you select your sample? I mean sampling method or sampling design in here, and how many respondents that will be included in that part, and how can why do you choose that number to be your sample? Can number 10 about ethical issue involved and how they will be dealt with? You know ethical issue? Have you ever heard about this one before? Since we do not discuss about this one, right? So what is that? ethical issue? Yeah,
I don't know too, teacher.
you don't know too, right? Yeah, like what we have discussed in the previous session, we also discussed about one ethical issue that we also need to be careful. Like, sometimes we can say, if you mention their name, if the case that the research finding is negative, we may not be able to interpret it well in here, for example, right? Or the other part we can say like the ethic or the morality that researcher do, for example, like whenever you interview, and if they are not volunteer to join, you cannot force them to get involved in your study in here. And one more thing, you are not going to tell about their identity to other. We can say like everything need to be kept in confidential. The data that you got it, you cannot say, oh, one of participant, Mr. A, Mr. B, just said like this about school. You cannot. You can say the result that show in your study will be anonymous, will be unnamed, or will not show the identity of the respondent in here. You can say Mr. A, Mr. B, or even the code number, teacher 01, teacher 02, for example, say about the management in the school, just like this, like that. You cannot identify their real name there. Or just invent their name or give their nickname, we can say, right? Like Dara can change to Mr. Joy, okay, Bopa can change to other name that is not their real name. It can be, but we can say like call them by name, but not their real name there. I mean, there is a researcher just give them the nickname for that part. Yeah, so yeah, confidentiality, you cannot force them. Yeah, they can get involved, they can volunteer, and then they can stop whenever they want to stop. The part that we call like ethical issue, this part, right?
Yeah, teacher, I got it, teacher.
Yeah, okay. Okay, data processing procedure, yeah, you need to identify. So in order to collect data, what are the procedure that you can go and collect data, okay? First, you may start with questionnaire design, or even finding and adapting the questionnaire from other, and so on here. And after you got that, you may have any appointment or set to the participant, and after you got the data, you need to transcribe, okay, into the software before you can analyze, for example, right? So this one is just show about the procedure 1, 2, 3, 4 until you get the data for analyze as well to show the result there. Number 12, propose a chapter of the report. Yeah, so yeah, you may come up with so what are going to be included in there. Yeah, it can be, you can say in proposal, normally there are 3 chapters. Chapter 1 to chapter 3, not all, right? It can be about introduction, about literature review, and about methodology in the third chapter, right? Okay, show them problem and limitation of the study. Yeah, the study, we can say like it might have some limitation. For example, like you just study only one group of the student or group of people. So that the study, the scope of that study cannot represent or cannot be generalized in here, right? Okay, and one last, just about proposed time frame for the project. So starting from where? For 3 months, it can be start from this month until the next 2 months, and then you can list down. So this month you do this, do that, and so on. Okay, it will be shown in the next slide. You can see. Okay, so see this one first. Okay, this one is just about introduction chapter. I mean about the content of the proposal. We can start with the introduction chapter, in chapter 1 of the proposal here. You can see like here, an overview of the main area and under the study. Yeah, so it might be about the background of the study. about history, historical perspective, development, growth, etc., pertinent to the study area. Like history or some background of the part, okay, more specifically, and a philosophical or ideological issue relating to the topic. Yeah, it might be some theory or some philosophy or thing or issue that related to the topic. They usually list down here, like for example, like your topic about English learning in Cambodia. You may start with you can say educational system. You can move to the other part about thing that you are going to study. For example, like your topic about English, teaching English writing. You may say something about teaching methodology. You may say something about English learning in Cambodia. You may say something about the problem with English writing skill, and then lead to your research problem there. You can see. Okay, and other part just about trends in terms of prevalence, if appropriate. Yeah. You can say you just start something related to your topic, like I mentioned, like the trend. Okay, in the past like this, and now or after COVID-19, the trend changed, for example, right? Major theory, if any, is how you can include it in there in chapter 1, just about theoretical framework and so on. The main issue, problem, and advance in the subject area under study. Yeah, you can rest up there. It might be included in the statement of problem. Important theory and practical issue related to the central problem under the study, right? Yeah, important theory, theoretical and practical issue. Yeah, it might be included in the conceptual framework or theoretical framework in here, right? The main finding related to the core issue. Yeah, so what are the things that they have raised, they have studied so far? Just raise it up about the issue. So we can say like regarding to the seminar problem, do need the reference. It's not so much only your opinion, not the issue, another statement of problem in here, right? Okay, so something. Let's move to chapter 2 of research proposal. We can see like focus on the problem here. So we can say identify the issue that are the basis of the study. Yes, you identify it. But normally they keep it in chapter 1. In chapter 2, they put like a literature review, but it just depends on some type of research paper here. It's specifying the various perspective on this issue. You need reference, we can say. So need to find out who said that is the problem here, or what research that show about the gap or the limitation of the study. This one will become the issue in your research paper here. Identify the main gaps in the existing body of knowledge. They can do this by reading the empirical study or comparative study to find out the gap, right? And addressing some of the main research questions that will be the answer through the study. Okay, develop research question that might be answer to the statement of problem in here. All right. Identify what the literature review say concerning research question, specifying different opinion, if any, in the literature review regarding to this question. So your research question must be developed based on the literature review. Yes, somehow we can say some recommended from the literature review that you have read. You may come up with a better research question for your study. All right. Okay, develop a rationale for the study with particular reference to how the study will fill the identified gap in the existing body of the knowledge. Yeah, you may set some rationale or objective regarding to a particular reference in here, like how can the study identify the gap in that part. So it will make it more related to your study. We can say like set the main part or the main objective to add up to the body of the study to be precise and concise to the problem in here. All right. So about that part, the other part about the attitude of the study, we can say like the attitude of the study should be clearly stated and specific in nature. Yeah, similar to your lesson number 2, right? So it's not very different there, but it needs to be stated clearly and specific in nature. Hypotheses are not essential, but can be listed in this section for quantitative study, like what I have discussed so far in the content. Yeah, hypotheses are not essential, but can be listed in the section of for quantitative study here. Study design, about chapter 3, about study design. Teacher come up by answering to this question, like who makes up the study population? Yeah, so who are your target group? Yeah, who will get enrolled in that part? What sampling method will be used? Yeah, it will be presented by whom? Maybe. Yeah, about chapter 12. We'll talk about sampling method there. Yeah. Yeah, it can be purposive sampling method, random sampling method, or snowball, and so on. So those things that we call like a sampling method in here. How will the selection sample be assessed? Okay, so how can you assess to select the sample? Yeah, you need a permission, official requesting letter or not. Okay, how will the sample consent to participant in the study be sought, right? How can you send them about the consent form? Consent form, like you just write something to inform them about, it might be about the purpose of the study. It is just ask them about their agreement to join by signing on the paper. Okay, and telling them about their freedom to stop at any time possible. And then if they sign to agree to join, that's one evidence to attach in the appendix of your study there, right? Next, how will the data be collected? For example, by interview, questionnaire, or observation. Like what you have learned with Vajra and who? Mr. Mesa, is it? Mesa or okay, that have presented last time, just last week, right?
Yeah, teacher Mr. Rina.
Oh, Mr. Rina, right? Okay, sorry for this. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, they have done presentation, so you can see the video, right? Okay, what other ethical issue need to be considered? Yeah, besides what we raised up so far. So any other thing that we need to consider? In some case that you work with the kid, other ethical issue need to consider. We can say like you cannot close the door to interview or work with them alone. You may just find a place that the people can observe, can see in here. It might be the people can see through the window, through the door, and so on. So need to consider with those things. Okay, and how will the data be analyzed? So how can you analyze the data? So you got the data. So what will you use it? For example, if you interview, you may catch up or prepare to highlight for the main theme, and then or even code color and so on, color code and so on to come up with the main theme of your study. If you start collect by questionnaire, maybe you can consider about which data analysis method is from SPX to be used to analyze the data in here, right? Okay. Okay, so here are the example of the time frame development for your study. You can start up with, for example, to be completed by weeks or month. For example, like here you have tasks, any task which you consider important. You have 1 until 15, for example. Okay, week number 1 and until number 3 and number 4, you may start proposal writing, for example. Instrument finalization, it should start from chapter 2 to week 2 to week 5, for example. Data collection start from week 5 to week 7 or week 8. Okay, coding, coding. Yeah, as the data collection, you need to coding the answer by not identify the participant identity in here. It should be something here. If you interview, maybe need longer time since you need to do a lot of job with interview. Data analysis, it's just about from week number 9 to number 11 or 12. Report first, second, third draft, okay, need longer time. The whole report here. Okay, report final, just something here. And then typing to complete it. Okay, so this one we call like work plan for research or time frame for research in here. Since in proposal, they also need to see those things. They need to see about what are the deadline or the timeline that you supposed to finish. Okay, so let's move to one last about costing. Yeah, so why you need to do with money? Money or budget estimate or estimated cost of the study, okay, aspect of the study, and approximate cost in here. For example, like printing the interview schedule or questionnaire, so how much? Use of the telephone, how much? Repair of the report, stationery, etc. Okay, if in some case that you collect data with different provinces, you may need some research assistant or data collector to travel to collect, so also need to spend money. So beside time, you also need to spend money as well. You need to plan carefully, right? So that's it. And in short, we can say that in this proposal will bring you with some idea about what to do, what are the time frame that you want to do, what are the budget you need, what are the research methods. Okay, we can say like data collection method and so on, or even the instrument that you want to use that will show about the reader. It might be your supervisor or even the donor that they can see, and then they can donate you some amount of money for conducting research in here. So it is really important for that part. Okay, so in short one, we can say in this proposal, we just have only 3 chapters there about introduction, about literature review, yeah, as well as one last just about research methodology. Only 3 chapters that proposed before you just go and collect the data. And after you got the data, you may come up with other 2 or 3 more chapters to finish your writing. That's why we can say like if in this semester you can come up with your topic, later on you can come up with your research concept, your concept note, and then you can develop your research proposal. So maybe you don't need to worry much. At the end of your second semester, you may finish your research report, okay, quickly after this one. So that's why I keep asking you, give you some time to formulating your research topic, keep thinking, and then you will have the other project that we call like concept note in here. Will help you with that part. Okay, so that's it from me. Any question before we move and have further discussion about this one? Hello, quiet. Are you sleeping well?
Yeah, hello, teacher.
Yeah, hello. Are you sleeping well?
No, teacher.
Yeah, normally people say, oh, it is really sleepy in here. Okay, so any further thing to discuss? Okay, any other thing you want to clarify? Any big picture about your concept note now? Yeah, you also need to do 3 chapters, but concept note is just 1 or 2 pages there. Okay, you need to come up with research topic about gap that you want to fill. It might be about research attitude, research question, or even research hypothesis. And then we may come up with research ethical consideration, limitation, and which will try to teach us about briefly about literary review, and one last just about research methodology there. So it's just about 1 or 2 pages there, not long, but it needs to be precise and concise to do that. Yeah. So concept note it's just about some they may up to 7 or 8 pages, but to me I will limit only 2 or 3 pages there. Yeah, it's just enough to be concise and precise. Louder and louder.
No question later.
Okay, no question, no answer. Okay, so one last, I just want everyone to keep tracking and keep your topic or one page of the paper there and list down as many as possible. And then you can select one of them to be the best topic for you, right? And for the one who not sure about how to select a topic, maybe you can go back and review the slide, the first slide, the second slide, yeah? It does tell you something about how to choose a research topic there. All right, it's not sure, you can go back and also see the video in that part, also recorded there. All right, and if you want to discuss about your research topic, just drop your message to my Telegram, and I will try to answer during my free time. And sometimes normally answer not really respond actively, yeah. Maybe I will try to take some time in free time and try to send you back the message. Yeah, we'll try my best, right? Since recently a lot of Telegram, a lot of group, to manage and answer as well. Okay, so that's it. I think that's it, and it also exhausted as well from morning until now. Anything to ask or discuss before we go? Mr. Janet may not be. Yes.
For me, I have no question, teacher.
No question, no answer.
I sent topic to you already, teacher, so we will discuss.
Okay. Yeah, discuss
better because I know that you are exhausted now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Jandon, anything?
Yeah. Excuse me, lecturer. I just want to clarify that our research, any sample that the old research that show any sample for student, lecturer.
We have the guideline for that part, right? But we need to discuss furthermore with other departments. In last time we show their topic, there is a guideline only 5 chapters, but for English we come up with 6 chapters. But there are 5 chapters. They still put other section. Mean that what we put in chapter 5, they keep it under chapter 5. What we put in chapter 6, they put in under chapter 5. So we need to consider whether we use 5 chapters together or even 6 chapters. Okay, we will move and follow them, or they will come back and follow us in here. But okay, I will talk and discuss with Dr. Plankton to discuss about this one, whether we need to consult with each other in here, right? So after that we can say we will show you the guideline there. So the sample for this time for cohort 5, cohort 6 are not the same with other parts. In this part, I will come up with the new research guideline. Before we can say it just here and there, just like chap chai in Khmer. But last time we have developed research guideline unique and for specifically only the PSBU in here. All right, so just wait and see for that. And as I said, it is consensus. Okay, we will share with everyone to see and then to develop your research proposal based on that part.
Yeah, I got it in English.
Yeah, but we can say like no matter whatever guideline, the research still not far different from that part. It still have some component there, but some they will keep it at the beginning, some will keep it after other one, and so on in here, right? It's still something in that part, but not in order in here. So no need to worry. Like in the book, they just suggest like this, but in the guideline, it might be other way. So whatever, you just do it, follow the guideline. No, even though you have experience to do and somewhere else, but when come to that place, we need to follow the guideline in that place. Yeah. Even though you experience many years about research somewhere else, but come to that part, need to respect to their guideline. Like if we just go to somebody's house, you need to respect their rule as well, right? Or their family habit or family rules in here. So okay, so the other part maybe Chandon, you can discuss with Mr. Rati. You will record the video, or you want to do presentation next week.
Teacher Chan Date and teacher that's mine.
Mr. Chandet will do it next week automatically, but for Mr. Rati and Mr. Chandon, you can decide. You want to move to next week or you want to record the presentation. Yeah, so discuss. But it's fine. You can say it's still fine. You can do 2 group per time. It's fine, right? We still can do that, right?
I will discuss with him first later, and I don't know the next week on that day I can take my chance or not because I will be at Battambang because my sister-in-law engagement. So very busy now.
Okay, yeah, busy man, right? Busy man or busyness man or busy man? Busy businessman or busyness man? Okay, yeah, you can discuss. Okay, I also suggest him this morning and he said, oh, I will discuss with Mr. Jandon, so you wait and see, right? Okay, if you are busy, maybe the choice you can do, you can start mid and then do presentation. Yeah, currently it's just fine. You are not here, but you can still send a voice. Yeah, like your voice, magic voice in here, right? Similar to the Chu Damden, like you can send your voice. The people gone, but the voice still stay. Okay, so maybe enough for today, and then maybe we can stop a bit earlier, yeah, and enjoy the rest of your time. That you may worry a lot about your reflection paper. Sooner you will get other reflection paper for other subject. So enjoy it and start doing it now. Don't feel overwhelmed, but start doing one by one. You can see like solve one problem at a time, and then everything will be fine. To me right now, I have maybe 4 or 5 things to complete as well. The deadline by Tuesday. But one by one, you can do it, right? Okay, so that's it, and we will discuss further more about your topics through Telegram. Just send me privately, and we will try to discuss. Goodbye, and see you next week. Yeah.
Goodbye. See you. Good luck.
Yeah, see you. Good luck. Okay, see you next week. Maybe with the other guideline about your concept note, right? Okay, thank you. Good luck. See you. Bye bye. See you.